Welcome! Today we're talking about progressive overload, the key to long-term gains. Often we look to pre-workout supplements for a boost, but the reality is that true progress comes from systematically increasing the challenge on your body. Progressive overload is more than just adding weight to the bar. It's about gradually increasing the stress placed on your muscles over time so they continue to adapt. In this presentation, we'll explore why your pre-workout might feel like it stopped working, how to stop chasing the sensation of stimulation and start chasing real progress, and the science behind muscle growth. We'll also look at different ways to implement progressive overload, discuss a practical 8-week plan, and talk about when to take deloads and stimulant breaks. Let's begin by examining whether your pre-workout is really broken. Have you ever felt like your pre-workout isn't doing its job anymore? It's tempting to blame the powder when you're no longer feeling that surge of energy or seeing results. But focusing on the supplement may overlook the real issue: stagnation in your training variables. In this section, we'll unpack what really drives progress. Instead of searching for a magic fix in a tub, we'll examine the hard truths about building muscle and strength. By shifting our attention to the quality of our training stimulus, we can learn to use supplements as tools rather than crutches. So before you toss out your pre-workout, let's take a closer look at what's happening beneath the surface. There's a common belief that supplements are quick fixes. When gains stall, many of us instinctively blame the powder rather than our own effort. Marketing often oversells what supplements can do, leaving the impression that a magic formula will deliver results with minimal effort. In reality, it's the hard work, the hours in the gym, the consistency, and the attention to progressive overload that drives change. Supplements can support your effort by providing extra energy or focus, but they cannot replace the grind. When we shift our mindset from seeking a magic supplement to embracing hard work, we become responsible for our progress. Recognizing that supplements are just tools helps us stay focused on what matters: systematic training and recovery. In today's fitness culture, it's easy to get caught up in chasing the feeling, the rush of stimulation that comes from a high-stim pre-workout. That intense buzz can make you feel like you're working harder, but it doesn't necessarily translate to better results. Over time, chasing bigger hits leads to diminishing returns. Your body adapts to the stimulants, the sensation fades, and you're tempted to take even more. Meanwhile, progress stalls because the variables that really matter, load, volume, and effort, have stagnated. Instead of chasing the rush, focus on chasing progress. That means paying attention to your training quality, ensuring you're lifting with proper form, and systematically increasing the challenge. When you concentrate on what drives adaptation, the need for constant stimulation diminishes. So what actually builds muscle and strength? Research tells us that there are 3 primary drivers: mechanical tension, muscle damage, and metabolic stress. Mechanical tension refers to the force generated by your muscles when lifting a load. This tension is essential for triggering hypertrophy and strength gains. Muscle damage occurs when fibers are stressed beyond what they're used to, prompting repair and growth. However, it's not about chasing soreness at all costs. Metabolic stress comes from the accumulation of metabolites like lactate during higher repetition sets, which can also stimulate growth. A balanced program incorporates all 3 elements by varying load, rep ranges, and techniques. Understanding these drivers helps us design training that produces results rather than simply chasing a feeling. Let's talk about load. High loads, typically above about 80% of your 1-rep max, are particularly effective at improving strength because they place greater demands on your nervous system and recruit high-threshold motor units. Hypertrophy, on the other hand, can occur across a wide range of loads as long as you train with sufficient effort. Studies show that low-load sets taken to failure can recruit those same high-threshold motor units. The key is proximity to failure. Whether you're lifting heavy or light, you need to push close enough to your limit to stimulate growth. Understanding that both heavy and lighter loads have their place allows you to program a variety of stimuli, keeping your muscles guessing and adapting. Volume, or the total number of sets you perform each week, is another critical factor. Meta-analyses show a graded dose-response relationship. Generally, the more weekly sets you perform, the greater your muscle growth up to a point. Each additional set you add can contribute to gains, but there's also a threshold beyond which more volume may not provide extra benefit and could impede recovery. The key is to balance training volume with your ability to recover. As your body adapts, you may need to add sets to continue progressing, but you should also include deloads and monitor your recovery markers. When managed properly, increasing volume is a powerful lever for driving hypertrophy. Your muscles are controlled by motor units, combinations of a motor neuron and the fibers it innervates. As you approach failure in a set, your nervous system recruits additional motor units to maintain force. This increasing recruitment is why the last few reps of a set feel so difficult. Over time, neural adaptations improve the efficiency and coordination of these motor units, allowing you to generate more force and move more weight. However, these adaptations require progressive overload. If you keep lifting the same weight for the same reps, your nervous system has no reason to adapt further. Systematic overload, gradually increasing the challenge, ensures that motor unit recruitment and neural efficiency continue to progress. Progressive overload is the gradual increase of stress placed on your body over time to stimulate adaptation. Many people equate it with simply adding more weight to the bar, but that's only one method. You can also increase stress by performing more reps at the same weight, adding extra sets, reducing rest periods to increase density, or manipulating tempo to increase time under tension. The key is to challenge your muscles in new ways while maintaining high effort. Adaptations can occur across a range of load and rep schemes as long as the effort is high. By understanding progressive overload as a multi-dimensional concept, you can continue making gains even when adding more weight isn't feasible. There are many ways to implement progressive overload. Load progression involves increasing the weight after you hit the top of your rep range. Rep progression means performing more reps at the same weight before increasing the load. Volume progression entails adding an extra set or introducing a new exercise to target the muscle from a different angle. Density progression involves reducing rest periods to get more work done in the same amount of time. You can also manipulate tempo, slowing down the eccentric phase or lowering your target number of reps in reserve to increase intensity. By rotating these methods, you can keep your training fresh and continue challenging your muscles. Have you ever wondered why your pre-workout seems to stop working? Part of the answer lies in tolerance. With repeated caffeine use, your body upregulates adenosine receptors, meaning you need more caffeine to feel the same effect. Your central nervous system and dopamine pathways also adapt to repeated stimulation, dulling the hit you once felt. Another reason is training stagnation. If your workouts aren't progressively overloading your muscles, no amount of stimulants will make them grow. Supplements can't compensate for a lack of stimulus. Understanding these physiological and training factors helps you set realistic expectations and focus on what truly drives progress. The science of habituation explains why stimulants feel less effective over time. Chronic caffeine consumption leads to an increase in adenosine receptors in the brain, which diminishes caffeine's wakefulness effect. Your dopamine pathways also adapt, so the novelty of stimulation fades, and what once felt powerful becomes your new baseline. Resetting your sensitivity requires taking a break from stimulants and periodically deloading your training. By reducing your stimulant intake for 1 or 2 weeks and decreasing training volume, you allow your receptors to downregulate and your nervous system to recover. When you return, you'll feel the effects more strongly and be better prepared to push hard again. The decline in caffeine's effectiveness follows a tolerance curve. At first, caffeine provides a noticeable boost in alertness and performance, but with chronic use, the curve flattens out. You need higher doses for the same effect. Eventually, increasing the dose yields diminishing returns and may lead to side effects like jitteriness, anxiety, or disrupted sleep. This tolerance curve underscores the importance of cycling your caffeine use. Rather than continuously increasing your intake, build in stimulant breaks and rely on the training variables, load, volume, and effort to drive progress. When used strategically, caffeine can remain an effective tool without becoming a crutch. Pre-workout supplements are tools designed to enhance performance, but they're not meant to be the foundation of your training. Their purpose is to help you push harder on challenging days, manage fatigue, and improve focus and neural drive when you need it. They can amplify your effort by making heavy sets feel slightly less daunting, but they cannot replace the work you put in. The key is to use them judiciously and adjust your dose or cycle off when tolerance builds. When you view pre-workouts as supportive tools rather than magic solutions, you stay grounded in the fundamentals of progressive overload. Let's look at 2 common ingredients, caffeine and L-tyrosine. Caffeine increases alertness and reduces perceived effort by blocking adenosine receptors and modulating neurotransmitters. It also enhances neural drive, but tolerance develops quickly, so you may need to cycle off periodically to regain sensitivity. Most effective doses range between 3 and 6 milligrams per kilogram of body weight, and it's wise to avoid taking it late in the day to protect your sleep. L-tyrosine is a precursor to dopamine and norepinephrine and may mitigate cognitive decline under stress. While it can support mental performance, there's little evidence that it directly improves exercise performance. As with any supplement, start with conservative doses and focus on the fundamentals of training. 2 other ingredients often found in pre-workouts are Alpha-Gpc and Citrulline. Alpha-Gpc delivers choline across the blood-brain barrier, increasing acetylcholine release and neural drive. Some studies show it can improve power output in activities like vertical jumping, with benefits typically seen at doses between 200 and 400 milligrams. It tends to feel smoother and less jittery than caffeine, although research is still emerging. Citrulline is an amino acid that boosts nitric oxide production, improving blood flow and possibly enhancing endurance. Evidence for strength and endurance is mixed, but many lifters enjoy the improved pump feeling. If you try citrulline, aim for 6 to 8 grams and remember that it's not a miracle ingredient, it's your training that counts. Creatine is one of the most researched and effective supplements for performance and size. It works by boosting phosphocreatine stores in your muscles, allowing you to regenerate ATP rapidly during high-intensity efforts. A meta-analysis of creatine combined with resistance training shows that people gained about 1 kilogram of lean mass and lost roughly 0.7 kilograms of fat compared to a placebo. Creatine enhances strength and power when you maintain saturation by taking around 3 to 5 grams daily. Unlike stimulants, creatine doesn't give an immediate buzz. Its benefits accumulate over weeks. It's safe for most healthy individuals and is often considered a foundational supplement because of its robust evidence base. We've covered a lot of ingredients from stimulants like caffeine and tyrosine to cognitive enhancers like Alpha-Gpc and pump ingredients like citrulline, as well as the powerhouse creatine. The takeaway is that supplements vary in their evidence and impact. Caffeine and creatine have strong research backing. Tyrosine and Alpha-Gpc show promise under certain conditions, but their effects are less pronounced. Citrulline may enhance blood flow but doesn't guarantee performance gains. Whatever you use, choose products that list transparent doses and prioritize well-studied ingredients. Remember that no supplement can substitute for a sound training program based on progressive overload, adequate nutrition, and recovery. Keep the main thing the main thing. Let's put theory into practice with an 8-week progressive overload plan. During weeks 1 and 2, add 2 to 5% more weight once you can hit your target rep range with good form. In weeks 3 and 4, increase reps or sets while maintaining the same weight to drive additional volume. For weeks 5 and 6, manipulate tempo or reduce rest periods to increase training density, creating metabolic stress without increasing load. Week 7 is a deload. Reduce your volume by 40 to 50% and drop near failure sets to allow your body to recover. In week 8, resume a progression, using your refreshed body to push past previous levels. This structured approach keeps you progressing while preventing burnout. A progression chart helps illustrate how this 8-week plan unfolds. Imagine a line trending upward as you gradually add weight, reps, or sets over several weeks. Then, during your deload week, the line dips down as you intentionally reduce load and volume. This temporary reduction allows fatigue to dissipate and sets the stage for further gains. After the deload, the line climbs again, ideally surpassing your previous peak. Visualizing your training in this way reminds you that progress isn't linear. Periodic steps back are strategic, not failures, and they enable greater leaps forward. Charting your progress also keeps you accountable and motivated. As you work through progressive overload, it's important to know how to adjust the variables. Increase the weight when you can perform the top of your rep range with solid technique. If adding weight compromises your form, add extra reps at the same weight instead. Only add an extra set when you're recovering well and your performance remains stable. Piling on volume when you're fatigued can lead to overtraining. Manipulate one variable at a time so you can see what's driving progress and what isn't. Pay attention to how your body responds and be willing to adjust. Listening to your recovery cues ensures that your progress is sustainable. Deloads and stimulant breaks are essential parts of a long-term program. Plan a deload every 4 to 8 weeks to dissipate accumulated fatigue. During this week, reduce your volume by 40 to 50% and avoid pushing sets to near failure. This allows your muscles, joints, and nervous system to recover and adapt. Similarly, after prolonged use of pre-workout stimulants, take 1 to 2 weeks off to allow your adenosine and dopamine receptors to reset. When you return to full training and reintroduce your supplement, you'll notice the effects more strongly. These short breaks prevent burnout and help you maintain progress over months and years. As we wrap up, remember the core message: stop chasing the feeling of your pre-workout and start chasing progression. The training stimulus, mechanical tension, volume, and effort drives adaptation. Supplements can support your effort, but they can't replace hard work or thoughtful programming. At AOF Supplements, we formulate evidence-based products without hype. Our philosophy is built on science, focus on quality training, recovery, and nutrition, and use supplements judiciously to complement your efforts. Thank you for joining us. We hope you'll stay tuned for more science-driven guidance and continue to push yourself with intention.